Hi, I'm Claire and this is Body Sculpt Pilates. So today we're going to have a band stretch working on lengthening our hamstrings. So we are currently in the lockdown and I've been getting lots of messages from people about tight backs, getting uncomfortable sitting just at kitchen tables and dining tables rather than proper office chairs, and a lot of people work at standing tables nowadays. So what we're going to do today is we're going to give our hamstrings a really good stretch, which is really good for the lower back. The tight hamstrings can cause a lot of discomfort in the lower back, so it's worth stretching our hamstrings as often as possible, at least a couple of times a week. Now, to do this really well, we use resistance bands. Now, I always use medium strength resistance bands. I find that the firm and the soft aren't quite effective. And it's also worth doing this with bare feet, because you've got to be very careful that your band doesn't come off your foot, because if it does, it's going to smack you in the face. And believe me, this does happen. So please be aware of that. At all times, you need to keep your band flat on your foot. Don't let it bunch up. When it bunches up, it will roll off, okay? So you want your band to be a good, probably sort of 1.5 meters long, I suspect, around about that. And we're going to come down onto our backs and get started. Right, so when you lower yourself down, we're going to work with our left foot first. So you can either hook your foot before you go down to the mat, or you can hook your foot when you're down on the mat. But like I just mentioned, please get your band as flat as possible, okay? When it's flat, it's fairly safe. It's when it bunches up that it disappears. So all we're going to do to begin with is just lying down on the back, is just get that feeling of the hamstring. Your arms should be relaxed down by your side, so you're not reaching up in the air. So hopefully your band's long enough that you can do this. And at the moment, the foot's just kind of resting in the band. Just draw the leg a little bit towards you, just till you feel that slight discomfort down the back of your legs. Now, depending on your flexibility, or depend what you do with the other leg, you can straighten it out if you want to, okay, for a deeper stretch, or you can keep it bent. It's entirely up to you. And feel free to change throughout the session, okay? You don't have to keep it bent or keep it lengthened. So we're just going to take this little engagement into the hamstring. Then we're going to slowly lower the leg away. So we're just reaching over the front of the hip. Then we're going to carefully lift the leg back up to that point of stretch again. And you are taking the leg back up to the point of just slight discomfort. Okay, it shouldn't be painful, but it will be a little bit uncomfortable. So just take a breath here. Keep that very soft tension down the back of that leg. We're just encouraging a little bit more depth. Then we lengthen the leg away again, nice and slowly, reaching over the front of that hip. Take it back up again. See if you can just take the leg a little further. Maybe you've got something on your ceiling that you can pinpoint where your foot is. See if you can just take it a little bit deeper each time. Okay, let's go again. Lower that leg down nice and slowly. Now, same thing, just see if you can get it just a little bit further. So when you're in that stretch, we're just encouraging the leg just to lengthen a little bit more. Try not to lift your hips off the mat. We need to think about how long our hamstrings are, coming from below the knee right up over these hips. So the minute you lift your hip up, you are just evading your stretch a little. So a couple of breaths there, then you're going to very carefully draw your knee into your chest just to relieve that hamstring stretch. That probably felt really nice. Now we're going to carefully push the foot up to the ceiling through the heel. Deep engagement, finding that heel hamstring again. Take a breath. Make sure you've got a good grip of these bands. If you get really achy hands, you can get bands with handles on the end, okay? So if you struggle gripping a taut band like this, then you could perhaps try one of those. Let's go again. Bend the knee carefully in. Just release that hamstring. Then slowly push the leg back up again and re-engage that stretch. Okay, in a moment, we're going to pass the band into the left hand, okay? Now hug your right knee into your chest. Now all we're doing with this right knee is we're counterbalancing. I want you to keep your pelvis level on the mat. You're going to carefully open the leg to the side whilst you push the knee away. So we're stretching to the inside of the thigh now, okay? Again, please make sure your band is flat and your pelvis is level. Nice big stretch there. Then carefully take the leg back up to the ceiling and pop that right foot back down on the mat. Now take a moment to think about the pressure in your left hip connected to the mat. Keep that pressure on the mat and just cross the leg over the line of your body. Now for some of you this will be a really, really deep stretch, quite uncomfortable around the back of your knees. If you lift your hip off the mat you will not feel the stretch, so you really need to gently press down. Then take the leg back up to the ceiling. Just re-engage that hamstring again. So just see if we can bring it a little bit further. Okay, carefully bend the foot, swap legs. Again, make sure that band's flat. Danger point. If you've seen as many people slapped in the face as I have, be very careful with your bands. Right, let's come into the hamstring stretch on this side. So what you'll probably feel straight away is how much tighter this leg is, because obviously you've just stretched the other leg out. And also most of us are more flexible one side than the other, so it depends which is your better side really. But just take a couple of breaths into this. Then we're going to slowly lower the leg down. Just feel like you're just reaching over the front of that hip and slowly lift the leg back up to the ceiling. See if you can encourage just a little bit more length in the hamstring before you stop. Take a few breaths there. Take the leg back down nice and slowly. Stretch over the front of that hip. Lift it back up. See if you can get the leg to go just a little bit further. And pause. And again, remember it should just be slightly uncomfortable. It shouldn't be painful. Okay, careful you don't overstretch. Pain is not a good thing. Last one, lower it down. Now let's see if we can go even a little bit further. Lift it up. Encourage it a little bit deeper. Maybe you want to straighten out the other leg. It's entirely up to you. If you can straighten out the other leg, it is a deeper stretch, but for me, I find it's quite uncomfortable in my back. So I prefer a little bit of a bend. It just sits my back better into the mat. So that'll be quite personal to you. Right, so the next stretch, we carefully draw the knee into the chest, and that's careful because we don't twang it in. Now, deep engagement now. We're going to push up through the heel to find that hamstring, and we're going to pause there. If you're hypermobile, which means you're double jointed, be careful you don't overstretch. If you're doing these stretches right now thinking, oh, this is so easy, I've got my other leg straight, my legs over my head, be aware of that, because when you are hypermobile, your body doesn't stop within the limits, so you can overstretch quite easily. So you'd be better to take the stretch back a little bit, okay, and hold it there. I hope that makes sense. Last time, bend the knee, very carefully push that heel up to the ceiling, big deep engagement of that hamstring. Okay, in a minute we're going to pass the band into your right hand, and then you're just going to hug your left knee in. Okay, off we go. So again, we're just counterbalancing here. Think about keeping that pelvis nice and flat. Just gently push your left knee out as you lower the right leg over. Big, big stretch, be careful here, but we're trying to keep the back as level as possible. Now carefully take the leg back up to the ceiling, pop that left foot back down. Now again, take the focus into your right hand side of your hip. Press the right side as you cross the leg over the line of the body. Oh, if you're like me, that is a heck of a stretch. All right, take a little pause there. We're going to have a double leg stretch next, okay? Take the leg up to the ceiling. Right, bend the knee and carefully pop both feet in the mat. Just have your knees hugged in towards your body. Just feel that you can connect the base of your back down into the mat as you take both legs up. Okay, and we're just stretching down the back of both hamstrings. Keep the back connected down to the mat, so what we're not trying to do is lift the back up, keep it down. Draw the knees in. Right, get ready for your last stretch. Take a nice inhale as you exhale. Push those heels up. Flatten your back down into the mat. Pull your belly button in. Nice big stretch to finish with. Then carefully bend your knees and take your band off. Okay, just have a little full body stretch. Just lengthen the legs out. Have a little stretch through the arms. Okay, and bring yourself back up to seated. Right, so that was just a little stretching session that really you should be able to fit into your day quite easily. If you can do it a couple of times a week, you really will start to feel the benefit of it. So have a little go, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.